This is a Dragon Blazer production, and I am the little boogeyman.
All right.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Boomer and Blaze Show. I am Boomer.
And I'm Blaze.
I'm a little down for the count today, a little injured. So we're going to be doing some things a little different today. Our main event, by the way, as you see, I broke out something different. I got Big Gold out in honor of Saturday night's main event, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But today, instead of a pay-per-view rewatch, we are going to be doing predictions and previews for both Saturday night's main event and Evolution 2. I managed to bruise a rib and pull a muscle at the same time. I'm sure everybody would like to know what happened. I went to defend my title and got in the ring with Mock Foley. And, oh, laughing's bad.
What I do, I destroy crap. I destroy it.
Mock fucked me up. That's what happened. So, no. But so I'm in a little pain. And, yeah. And so that's why we're going to do it this way, because it's going to be easier to be a one-shot, less time. I could bore you with the fact that normally it takes us about, 5 hours to record one of these episodes, usually, because we watch the pay-per-view and blah, blah, blah. We do it this way, we can straight through, and I can survive, so there you go. All right. I believe we have to lead off with a comment we received, right?
Yes, so a listener brought
That's
up
right, folks. A listener that's not us. A real listener.
Not us. A listener. He may have been hate listening.
We'll take it. You
know, whatever. I'll take any listeners I can get. That brings our count to like 5. Anyways, so he brought up a couple things that you were incorrect on, and we're gonna watch the clip and then we'll talk about what he said.
Yeah, play the clip.
They talk a lot of, I don't know, I don't watch a lot of basketball anymore, but I thought we should address your NBA champions. The Oklahoma City Thunder won the NBA title. Technically, it's the Thunder's first title, but it's actually the second title because they were the Sonics, right? Yeah, Thunder were the Sonics.
So first incorrect thing that was mentioned, and this one he is absolutely 100% right, which I will, to defend my co-host here, it was clear you weren't entirely sure. Maybe you should have looked it up, whatever. It was the Seattle Supersonics, but not just the Sonics.
I know, but that's still what I mean. Everybody calls
I know what you're saying.
I knew what I was saying.
It's a small gap.
So I was not wrong.
You weren't completely wrong, but it was
I didn't say the first name.
Not the Sonics.
I know what their name is.
We're not getting burgers at Sonics. You know what I'm saying?
I may be hurting, but I'm going to defend this. I meant that nobody goes around with Seattle Supersonics are my favorite. No, when they were around, people called them the Sonics. I knew what the fuck I was saying. I will not agree with that one. I was not wrong.
I don't know.
That's how people talk about them. Come on, man.
The Seattle Supersonics.
It's just like when anybody talks about the Cleveland Cavaliers. They talk about the Cavaliers. People don't walk around going to New England Patriots. They talk about the Patriots. Most of the time, if we talk about our team, we call them the Bengals. We don't go around calling them the Cincinnati Bengals. It's a fucking nickname for a team. So that one, let's get over that.
Well, I don't know if Cincinnati
I meant Supersonics.
I don't know if that's the proper argument. It'd be more like calling the better argument would be like if you called the Miami Dolphins the Fins and you called them the Fins and you went with a nickname. Sonics is more like a nickname over their actual name. You know what I mean?
Whatever. But still, the point is, I'm at the Seattle Supersonics. That's apples to oranges, whatever the fuck. So
I'm just saying that's one of the things he brought up.
I wasn't incorrect. I just didn't say the full name.
One of the things he brought up was It is the Seattle Supersonics.
Yes.
They transitioned from the 2008 season was their last season as the Seattle Supersonics, and then they transitioned to the Oklahoma City Thunder.
But yes, that's the team I meant, so I apologize to anyone that got offended because I didn't say their whole name.
All right, so I'm going to continue the clip.
It's the Thunder's first title. What I liked about it was, and I don't watch the NBA as much as I used to, but the Thunder were pretty much dominant all season. But the finals were the Pacers and the Thunder, and for the last 7 years, there's been a different champion every year in the NBA. I wish we got that more in other sports. Like I like to see the teams you don't normally expect.
All right, so apparently this listener heard that it sounded like you said 70. Now I hear 7, but this is also after I've talked to you and you told me 7. So I was looking for 7 years, and based on the rest of your conversation, it sounded to me like you were talking about the last 7 years. There's been a new champion, but he heard 70,
and that's what I meant to say. If that was misheard,
if it was misheard, he meant to say 7 years. So we're just making this correction. Yeah. If you heard 70. He meant to say 7. The last 7 years, there's been a new champion, no back-to-back, which in football, we've been getting domination. We've been getting legacies.
And that was the point of the whole conversation. So that's when you brought it up to me. I was like, that had to be misheard because I was talking specifically about having different champions every year in the last 7 years. So, yeah, that could have been misheard. So, that happens. But there you go.
Well, you know what? Any kind of comments from our listeners, we're going to address it. We're going to address it. Yeah. If you say that there were the biggest pieces of shits on the planet, we're going to address it because, we'll take that engagement.
Right.
We'll take your hate comments. It's all good.
The champ is here, bitch. You know what I'm saying?
Champ is here. Yeah.
Champ is here. I'm going to set that thing down. It's heavy. Not good for that. All right.
Yeah.
So you can see another new one.
Man,
today.
You sound like you have been broken.
I am a little. I got a little Penta on today.
It was almost nice Penta. Okay, good.
Little Joker Penta.
It feels like you just found Braun Breaker in the ring.
That's what
you're looking and feeling like Sami Zayn right now. If anybody watched Raw last night, poor Sami, poor you. You
Braun
must
really
have met Braun as well.
Braun really has it out for Sami. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, just broke him. And the fans are chanting one more time. I thought we liked Sami Zayn. You psychos.
Braun's still over. I saw some internet morons the other day that were complaining, like, why did they take a star like Braun and they're making him Seth's bodyguard? Well, dude,
they're making him a star.
What's going to happen? Because this is what's going to happen. What's going to happen when Braun turns on Seth? It's just going to make him a bigger star than where he was. Come on. It's going to make him a bigger star. Jesus Christ.
And not only that.
Yeah, the bloodline really hurt everyone in that group, didn't it? Ooh, man, being Roman's bitch really run those careers.
Well, not only that, though. I was impressed by Braun's mic skills last night. Yeah. I thought he was pretty good on the mic.
This is just going to elevate him more. Like, there's nothing wrong with him being with Seth freaking Rollins. That's just stupid. You know what I mean? That's stupid. But, I didn't get to see all of Raw. I saw a little bit of it.
I watched it last night.
I knew Goldberg wasn't going to hit that spear only because Gunther still had the belt on. That gave it away. Like, you're not going to spear somebody if they have the title on. That would have hurt Goldberg. So I knew before that, I'm like, he's not hitting that spear. You got a spear in the belt, you dumbass. That's not going to. All right. Well, that was some random talk, but let's do our usual. I think it's time for something. I do. Oh, yes. The beginning of our show is a good old bullshit corner.
Well, this is all going to be pretty much bullshit corner, but that's
technically our main events. Our main events are preview and predictions instead of.
True.
Look, this is what I told the co-host. I got a hold of him. Like, I just want to get content out there. I hate missing a week, so I figured this was better than nothing, right? So,
yeah, absolutely. I agree.
That's what we're doing,
and at least we have something to talk about this week. So
I'm excited.
I'm excited about Braun at the right time.
Yeah, I mean, I got something exciting. Not wrestling. There's something I'm really excited to talk about here, but we'll get to that in a moment. We have to start off on a sad note, and before we get to these sad notes, real quick, let's send some prayers and love out to Texas. The flood situation out there. There's over 100 people dead now. It's pretty crazy. I saw some of the video. I've never seen a flood start like that quickly. So anyway, some prayers out to everyone in Texas. And this time. This isn't the Marge Simpson thing. We do have we have 2 celebrity deaths that happened this week. The first one being someone that, as soon as I think of this person, I think Doctor Doom. I mean, I know everything else he was in, but he was the original Doctor Doom in the first Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And not related to Vince, by the way. He's not.
Thank God. Yeah, he's one of those character actors that I recognize in a lot of things. Yeah, of course, he was Doom, but I don't know. For me, Fantastic Four wasn't all that memorable. The first one, or any of them really. Silver Surfer was kind of cool because Silver Surfer is like a neat character to see on screen.
Yeah,
but
I mean, the first thing I ever saw him in was Charmed. He was in Charmed.
Never watched Charmed.
And then Charmed was so good. I don't care if it was a bunch of chicks; it was still a great show. And then he was in the series Nip Tuck on FX.
I've heard. I've never watched that either.
Which was a really probably couldn't be on TV today. They probably wouldn't air that on TV. It was a very out there, very adult show. There were plastic surgeons in LA, and his character was like kind of a man whore, like a Ted Dancing type character, but not in a comedy. In a drama.
Fair enough.
So, but even though the Fantastic Four movies weren't that great, it was still the first time on screen, and I thought he was actually one of the highlights of that original movie. I thought he was good, Dr. Doom.
I'd have to watch it again. I barely remember it. I just know I recognize the actor from many different things, and I can't even pinpoint one of those things.
And his family did release that this was actually he kept it private, but he had cancer, so he passed away from losing a battle with cancer that he kept private.
No one's safe from cancer, man.
No, they're not. In these situations, I don't blame celebrities if some of them just don't want to share, their health issues and don't want people to feel sorry. So there you go. Yeah, Jillian Man. So, and of course, our next one now, you got to know this guy. Everybody has to know this guy because he's one of the people that were in everything. Michael Madsen, if I'm saying that right, I believe it's Madsen.
Oh yeah, I recognize him as well.
Yeah, and I mean a lot of people because he was one of Tarantino's like go-to guys. He was in Reservoir Dogs, Kill Bill 2, The Hateful Eight, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I mean, I recognized Julian McMahon too.
He's been in a lot. Madison's been in a lot of stuff, but he's most famous for being in all of those Quentin Tarantino films.
Yeah,
and he actually, I don't know how many people know this, and you're usually, of course, this isn't technically a cartoon, but I know you know quite a bit about voice acting. He's done a lot of video game stuff back in the day, too. He did several voices in Grand Theft Auto 3.
Wow.
So that's way
far back, huh?
Yeah, that's not the only video game, but that's like the one I read, like, wow, he did voices in Grand Theft Auto. That's pretty sweet.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Been a while since I've played 3. That was San Andreas, right? No, the 3 was the original. 3 was the first one. I'm thinking you meant 3 as in the third one after the original, but no, that's right. The third one was
the legit third one, yeah. So he passed away from cardiac arrest. So for me personally, I remember him most in Reservoir Dogs, but I love that movie. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but that's
it's one that I want to see and I've never seen actually.
I don't know if we can do a podcast together anymore.
I'm being told no more.
You're lucky I can't run off the set right now. Tell you that. Yeah, so there you go. 2 celebrity deaths that we want to get out of the way right away. And the next thing we're going to talk about kind of blew my mind. And I guess we can look at this as a happy thing. I can't believe it's real, though. So New York City reported that there were no shootings or murders on the 4th of July for the first time ever.
Okay.
Ever.
Cool. I mean, that's...
Ow, sorry. When I saw... I'm not saying this...
So do we be happy that this is a thing or sad that every other one has one?
And that's what I felt like when I read this. That's the reason I picked it. I'm like, I don't know how to feel. It's a good thing, but ever like
Wow.
first time in history. Wow. I mean, congratulations, but damn, what are y'all doing up there on the 4th?
Yeah.
Like, if it's Ohio, they're like, it's the first time in the last 3 years that no one blew a finger off with the fireworks. That's kind of shit that's happening here.
I still have 3 fingers from last year.
Yeah, and most of my teeth. Like, I don't know, but I mean, yeah, it's a good thing I just read that, and I'm like, wow, that's mind blowing.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Hooray.
Mm,
Yeah, that's
There you
a.
go.
I have mixed feelings on that stat.
Well, congratulations, New York. I don't know. It's a little weird, but that's why I brought it up. It kind of blew my mind, but I'm glad they had a safe 4th. I hope everybody did. I had to work, so I didn't do anything.
Understood. I played some cards. I actually had a good 4th of July. I mean, I didn't really watch any fireworks, but went to my mom's house, went in the pool, got out, played some euchre. So, good times there.
Yeah, I mean, it was still kind of fun because even though I had to work, so the restaurant itself was closed, and he always had a parking lot party on the 4th of July, and there was live music and stuff. So we were able to sneak out and crowd watch, listen to some music, and got to see the fireworks too. So it wasn't too bad. So there you go. All right, well, this next one I think we're both going to be excited about. We're going to talk about an anniversary that makes sense. Unlike a couple weeks ago when we talked about Sonic's 33rd and a half birthday, or whatever the fuck it was.
Not a thing.
Not a thing. This is a legit anniversary of one of the best films ever. Happy 40th to Back to the Future.
Oh yeah, that's a legit milestone right there.
That's a legit
40
anniversary
years.
for a great movie. One of my favorites for sure. And I got a few little things. I don't know if you know these, but usually I do more facts about wrestling. Let's do a few facts about Back to the Future. Do you know
Let's go.
Do you know in the original script what the time machine was? What it was going to be?
Ooh, I have no idea.
Oh my gosh, this is the craziest thing ever, but you can look it up and see that it's true. In the original script, the time machine was a fucking refrigerator.
Okay.
Yeah. The director is the one that got them to change their mind. And another thing that's kind of funny is when they decided to go with car, they picked the DeLorean as a joke. Because
the DeLorean was a failed car.
Not only was it a failed car, but right when they were getting ready to film and stuff is when the guy that owned the company I forget what he got busted for, but he did get busted back in the day for some kind of shit. So they chose the DeLorean as a joke, and of course it turned out to be
and now it's iconic. The car's cool, yeah.
Yeah, there's people that want them, and they're hard to find because,
they didn't make them a lot.
They didn't make them that long, yeah, so it kind of disappeared. And I'm sure you know the famous story about the original actor. I mean, actually, in the very, very beginning, they did want Michael J. Fox, but when they tried to do that, the studios told them no because he was still doing.
And they literally recorded most of the movie with Eric Stoltz.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, like 8 weeks in, and they were like, not feeling it. And they actually were able to get Michael back because the woman that played his mother on this show got pregnant in real life. So they were changing the filming schedule of Family Ties, and that allowed him to do the movie. But Michael J. Fox still had to do both, like the whole time. He was filming Back to the Future and Family Ties every day, both of them, just back to back.
Wow.
He'd go shoot Family Ties and then run to film Back to the Future and got like very little sleep.
I feel like it was a good choice.
Yeah.
Back to the Future is pretty beloved.
It's an iconic movie.
I know, I love it. Yeah, it's a great movie.
All
three of them. I like all three of them.
It launched Michael J. Fox's career, and even though he'd been around a while, I could argue that it launched Christopher Lloyd to another level. Not like it was his first movie, but before this, I didn't know who the fuck Christopher Lloyd was. I might have seen him in something, but I didn't know who he was before this. I know he'd been around a long time already, but I'm talking mainstream-wise.
Oh, Christopher Lloyd?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, Taxi, but...
Yeah, TV role, but as far as movie career. You're right, though. I used to watch Taxi, but I can tell you that back when I watched this, like, when I was younger, I didn't put 2 and 2 together because I was too young to... Because I used to watch Taxi when I was little, but I didn't realize it was the same guy then.
Yeah, I don't know if I did either. I was young. I've watched some Taxi when I was a kid too. I will say one special thing about Back to the Future for me is, you know, my dad.
I do.
He was your dad as well at
Yes.
one time, and he's notoriously not really into fantasy or out there movies. Um, unless it involves Jeff Foxworthy. So this is one movie that I share. Like my dad actually likes Back to the Future.
See, I think
Now,
that's a good point. That's a good point. A lot of people that don't really like science fiction and stuff like this movie.
like I watched this. I watched the back. Now he mostly just likes the first one. He's not really big on the sequels, but he'll watch the sequels. But he likes the first one, and I was watching with him. He's like, "Yeah, I actually like Back to the Future and everything." I was like, "Let me ask you, Dad. Is it because of the car?" He's like, "I never thought about it, but it could be because of the
That
car."
could be kind of a
My
car.
dad likes cars, so
Yeah, and it
this
turned that car
movie has a
into a.
prominent, really cool freaking car.
I haven't
But
seen. So I like the first two. I remember not liking the third one as much. I would have to go back and watch it. I know I haven't seen that one as much as the other ones, and I don't know if it's because it was in the old west and it just seemed a little out of place. Not that it was far fetched, the
I
concept was
liked the
far fetched.
Wild
But
West.
I'd have to be fair. I would have to go back and watch that one to make a judgment. But
I actually just recently rewatched all of these with my dad. I think we even watched. I think we watched all of the Wild West one as well. Um, did kind of a Back to the Future marathon one day. Uh, and to bring up you bringing up the fridge. Now, do I think the fridge idea is kind of dumb? A little bit, but Doctor Who made a police box time machine, and it's going strong for 60, 70
yeah,
years, however long it's
Bill and
been.
Ted were in a phone booth.
Well,
You
that
know,
was a direct reference to
to
the
Doctor Who. Yeah,
police box.
I just
So
don't think it would have been. I'm not saying the movie would have worked, but a fridge wouldn't have become as iconic as the DeLorean did.
you
That's
almost, I can almost guarantee you that the fridge was even considered because of the TARDIS. Because think about it, it's pretty similar in shape.
right.
You know,
That could be true.
I think it's weird you'd go with the fridge because you can't see outside it. You can't, um, unless they do some Doctor Who shenanigans where it's bigger on the
Right.
inside.
Right. Yeah.
It's also notoriously not to put people in unless you're Jeffrey Dahmer.
Right.
So it's kind of a weird choice, but if you go by the shape, the size, it can be similar to a TARDIS, and I wonder if that's the reason they thought that at first. Like,
That's
what can we
possible.
do that's kind of like the police box? What can we do that's somewhat similar to? I can almost guarantee you that was their thought process. Because
That could
why
be
else do
possible.
you go with the fridge?
And the one thing I never thought of, and a lot of this I heard the other day because one of the podcasts I was listening to, they interviewed a guy that just wrote a book about Back to the Future and stuff, behind the scenes stuff. But this is something I never thought about. But in those movies, they never tell you how Marty and Doc became friends. You never learn like how they met, or which is a small thing, and I never noticed it, but it's just something that they brought up. It's like in the movie, they never
I know
explain to you.
there's a lot of jokes
You know,
about the possible pedophilic relationship between the two. So, yeah, I've heard it. I heard it. Inappropriate. It's like, why is he hanging around this old man, this eccentric old man? Like, oh, but I mean,
they're just
obviously,
friends.
there was nothing that suggested that when you watched the
No,
movies. But
no. And that's not even what I'd forgot about. Some people said that. That's not even where I was leading. Because I totally forgot about that. I was just simply pointing out the fact that they never addressed in the movie, like what the connection between Marty and Doc was. But I forgot there were some idiots that thought it was that.
I mean,
But
if you're,
that's not when I was younger. I had some people I hung out with that were older adults, and I thought they were cool as shit. They had the best stories, and they gave zero fucks. Like, oh, ow, excuse me. But we grew up together for a while, and we lived in that trailer park. I went over to the old lady's house next door all the time just to hear her stories and hear her bitch about the world. It was fun
yeah,
stuff. There was nothing freaky about it. It wasn't. wasn't because
Well, the problem is the town already thinks of Doc as a kook.
yeah, and that's probably why Marty liked him. Like, fuck, I love that crazy motherfucker.
Yeah, he's nuts. I like it.
Yeah. So there you go. But yeah, 40th anniversary of a movie that's going to stay iconic forever, and people just give up on seeing another one because it's not going to happen. Like we'd all love to see it, but it just can't happen. That's why it's not going to happen. Like,
well, once we see the DeLorean come back in time. Back in time.
Like the only way they could do another one is if you wanted to replace people. Do you really want to do that? And because Michael J would love to do it, but I don't just physically don't think he can. You know, so,
I think if you do it with.
You'd have to do it. You'd have to do it like Ghostbusters. You'd have to just like do a new generation. You know.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I would say do it with his kid, like make his kid make it his daughter or something, and have her. It's like something's wrong with Marty in the past.
I do at least like that better than when they just try to remake shit. You know what I mean? Like the new Ghostbuster franchise, the way they did it, these are relatives of the Ghostbuster. I would much rather like that. If you're going to take an idea in Hollywood and bring it back, do it that way. Do a next generation instead of making shitty remakes that we don't want to see.
Yeah.
You know, do them that way. That's a better tactic.
I don't dislike a remake though. You know,
they're hit or miss. They're hit or miss. Sometimes they're better. Sometimes they're worse. You know.
Well, you think of it like this: The Thing from the '80s. That was a remake from The Thing that I forget what it was called.
Right.
It's a remake of an old '60s film.
Right. Some are good.
But that was a remake that most people don't even realize it's a remake.
Right.
But it's a remake, and it was great. Yeah. I watched it. It was fun.
Sometimes it does work.
There are remakes that work.
And I think we've talked about this before. But to me, like a remake like that works so well because, like you said, most people didn't remember it being a movie. But when you read something like they want to make another Goonies, you're like, okay, well, you can't remake Goonies. Like, if you want to continue the legacy, whatever, I guess. But you can't remake fucking Goonies. You know what I mean?
I think you can. Goonies sucks. I mean, maybe it's better.
Oh, you just... there goes 10 viewers.
Fighting words. I am not
10 viewers.
I haven't watched it in a while. Maybe I should rewatch it. But I remember when I watched it for the first time. Now, I do personally think that this is an issue of when I watched it, because I never watched it as a kid. So I don't have that kid nostalgia for it. I watched it as an adult, and as an adult, I wasn't a fan. I remember
right now,
liking it very much.
That's the reason, because I know when I was young and I watched it, I loved it. I wouldn't go watch it now. I have zero reason to watch it. So it is, some movies are like that, right? As a kid,
you lose the magic when you watch it first.
You get older and you're like, I really like this. What the fuck?
Now, I watched The Princess Bride as a kid, and I love it. And I know it's cheesy as hell, but I love The Princess Bride.
A lot of it's just point of view, too, right? But I know the Goonies is held as like an iconic movie, whether it's my cup.
I know. I just, you know, I'm Blaze. I got to do some controversial shit. You know how it is.
Fucking heel.
But it is legit. I never was a big fan of Goonies, but like I said, I watched it as an adult. I don't have that nostalgic energy.
Yeah. It's not. I could name a lot of movies better than it, in my opinion, but it's just one of those people hold in high regard. But
I just never understood
that time period. But like I said, as a kid, I dug into it. Mainly, it was just because of Goofy dude. Can't even remember what his name was, but the big guy. That was the main reason.
Now, one that I didn't watch as a kid, but I watched as an adult and really enjoyed as an adult. Even though I didn't get that magic, was Labyrinth. I didn't watch that as a kid either.
Right.
And I mean, I enjoyed it.
Movie. So I think we just took a long roundabout way to say Goonies sucks. I'm sorry, people.
Yeah, fuck Goonies.
We were trying to logicalize it, but it sounded to me like what we're saying is Goonies. It just isn't a good.
Yeah.
Y'all love it for whatever reason, but it's not.
We Go find treasure in another cave.
We tried to justify it, but nope, Goonies just isn't that good of a movie. Okay,
that's what the movie was about, right? Them trying to find treasure or some shit.
Yeah.
Treasure.
If you want to watch Treasure Hunt, watch Pirates of the Caribbean. Okay. I don't know what to say, but anyway.
Watch the Terrence and Phillips special.
That's right. Damn it. But don't watch that shit.
Hey, Philip, that's treasure. Sorry.
Right. So, we're going to move on to the thing I was excited to talk about that isn't wrestling. And that is what happened on the 5th, what happened over the weekend. We got to see Ozzy's last show. Of course, back in
Did we get to see it? I didn't watch it.
Back in 2020. Back in 2020 is when Ozzy was diagnosed with Parkinson's. Um, and of course, he was working on music and he wanted to go out on tour, and he found out all that wasn't possible. So that is when they got the idea to do this last show. And as a matter of fact, somebody I know got this. It was available on pay-per-view. It was $40. And it was actually an all-day concert. But I went over just to catch Ozzy. And I think it started at like noon or 1 o'clock. And I mean, they had Guns N' Roses was there, Anthrax, Slayer, Metallica, Tool, Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins, Steven Tyler from Aerosmith. So they had all these bands that performed ahead of time. Most of them did one or two of their own songs and then covered either an Ozzy song or a Black Sabbath song. But I went over there just to see Ozzy. And this was in England. This was in Birmingham. And I'm not going to try to remember the name. I don't know the name of the arena or whatever they were in. But when it came time for Ozzy to come out, they rose him up through the stage, and he was sitting on this throne that you see in this picture. And of course, because of the Parkinson's, a couple things, Ozzy actually stopped taking his medicine, but I couldn't find out if it was just that day or for a couple days. But he didn't want to take his painkillers and everything because he wanted to be coherent, to be able to remember words to songs and to be able to perform.
Oh, geez.
So he didn't take his medicine, and then they actually had to strap Ozzy to the throne because, again, of his Parkinson's. He can't stand on his own, and he didn't want to fall out of the chair, so they actually had to strap him to the throne. Wow. This place was packed, and when Ozzy first came out, the crowd got really quiet, but I'll tell you why. And you can't tell in this picture. This is actually from the concert, and he's smiling. He looks really happy, but it was kind of sad when Ozzy first came out because you could just see how rough shape he's in. You know, his body's breaking down a little bit on him, and he didn't look the greatest. But man, as soon as he hit that first note, all that went away. Like, it was amazing how good he sounded. And the whole thing was actually kind of emotional. He started the first song. He sung 5 songs. He sung 5 solo songs with his band from those days, and then he did 4 songs with Black Sabbath, the original lineup. And he started with Mr. Crowley, and the last song they did was Paranoid. But the moment of the night came when he did Mama, I'm Coming Home.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it's already a song that you can see being sad, right? But that song not only hit the audience, it hit Ozzy. You could see tears coming from his eyes. You could hear it in his voice. Like, it was almost like he was not just singing a song. You know what I mean? Like, even though that wasn't the last song, you can look this up on YouTube, but that right there was the moment of the night. I think I teared up. I normally would cry at a concert. That moment right there. You know, there's so much bad shit in the world that sometimes certain moments just hit you in the feels. You know what I mean? And seeing Ozzy being able to do this, he thought he was never going to be able to perform again at all. Sharon worked on this for over a year to organize this and make it happen. And Ozzy several times told everybody how much he loved them and he appreciated it. At one point, he was like, I've been bedridden for the last several years. That shit sucks. I love you guys. This is amazing. You know? And, but yeah, when he sang Mama, I'm Coming Home, it was a little bit of a tearjerker. And then, like I said, the last 4 songs were all the original members of Black Sabbath. They did Iron Man, Paranoid. I can't remember the other 2 songs, but
War Pigs.
Yes, they did do War Pigs, and there was a 4th one. And most of Ozzy's songs he did was from the Blizzard of Oz album. Most of the songs that he did, but it was good, man, and it was a great moment for Ozzy. Also, by the way, Ozzy took no money. The money that would have been his that he got for this, he donated to charity. Ozzy took no. He didn't want money. He just wanted to be able to do this. Yeah. So it's pretty amazing. It was an all-star show. Like I said, several bands were there. They had a couple super group performances. So it was good, and I'm glad he got to do it. And it was pretty wild seeing Black Sabbath up there. All the original members, the drummer had a shirt off, you know. Could you just imagine, like, we see shit like this, and we're just like, oh, it's Ozzy Osbourne. But, like, I saw a video that Jack, his son, posted, and it was a couple of, I don't know if I assume they're Jack's kids, but it said, they never get tired of Grandpa. And that's the part if you think about. Could you imagine if Ozzy was your grandpa? Like, like these are all somebody's grandpas up here fucking rocking out. My grandpa would not have been playing the drums at 70 years old on the stage. I just don't think that happened. Ow, sorry. Oh.
You're okay.
But it's pretty. And even Ozzy fan or not, this was amazing. It was a really cool moment, and I'm glad I got to see it.
Yeah.
Because as much as I love Ozzy, I would not have had $40 to drop on it. So.
Yeah, I didn't have no money for that.
And like I said, I'm going to recommend to everybody. You can pretty much, I told somebody at work, I was like, all these people that paid $40 could have just waited because you can go on YouTube and you have to watch it all in segments, but you could just watch it all for free. People recorded every fucking, like, it's not the same because it's people recording it, but, people recorded every tool was there. It was pretty off the chain. But congratulations to Ozzy. Definitely him and Sabbath, both legends in rock, whether they're your thing or not, they paved the way for a lot of people who follow them for sure. So there you go. It was good shit, man. I don't know how much you're into Ozzy, but if you can watch some of those.
I like some Ozzy. I like some Black Sabbath. I
Especially
like Jack too. I've watched Black Label Society a couple times.
Yeah,
at
Ozfest.
Ozfest.
Was there. He played. He played with.
I've seen Ozzy once at Ozfest. Like I said, I saw Black Label Society twice at two different Ozfests. I don't know if I'd call myself a super fan, but I do like me some Ozzy. He's on my playlist.
There you go. Yeah, who doesn't like them some Ozzy? All right, but where'd he go? All right, well, moving on. All right, well, I think I talked all that shit, even though technically it's all kind of bullshit today. But now it's time for everybody's favorite part of our show. It's time for the Chic Tweet of the Week!
Chic Tweet!
All right, I almost forgot to change my voice. I should have just kept it going, right? Now this Chic Tweet this week's going to pain me a little bit. My co-host, I'm sure, is going to love it. Here you go, this week's Chic Tweet of the Week. True story. Hulk Hogan is a dumb son of a bitch.
Truer words have never been spoken. Truer words have never been spoken. Fuck the Hulk Hogan.
I love you, Sheiky baby, but it hurt. It hurt that I had to put that up. You're my boy. We've talked about it several times. I don't need to deep dive into why. I get it. The Sheik and Hogan, they just weren't friends. I get it. That's okay.
Understood. Yeah.
I'm not going to hate. There you go. True story. Hulk Hogan, you dumb son of a bitch. Our Chic Tweet of the Week. All right. I made it to the first part and I'm still vertical. So that's good. All right.
Huzzah.
All right. So we did it. We made it through bullshit corner. Now it's time to move on to the main events. Oh, good. He's got some graphics too. My God.
I didn't mean to put that up yet. I hate when I'm trying to share something and I'm trying to do what you're doing, but it doesn't do it in the background like you do it.
I gotcha. That's okay. That's what we're moving on to. Our main event this week is going to be previews and predictions. And what a weekend at wrestling, by the way. And I just wanted to talk about all of it. And I kind of forgot about this because, again, I don't watch a lot of NXT, but Saturday you actually have the Great American Bash from NXT in the afternoon. And then you have Saturday night's main event. And then, as far as I know, even with the flooding, I haven't heard anything different. We got All In Texas for AEW on Saturday as well. And then, of course, Sunday we get Evolution. And apparently Beyonce. And some people are mad about that. But, look.
Did she go to Texas to do it?
No, I think because Evolution is going to be in Atlanta as well. I think that's where Beyonce's performing. I think she's performing across the street from this arena. Sunday. So there's people saying, why would you schedule Evolution up against a Beyonce concert? Some people, look, so I see complaints about Evolution because some people are saying they threw it together too quickly and they didn't give it time to build up, blah, 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 blah. Listen, The last time we got one was 2018. So I don't know what it took to get it back, but shouldn't we just be happy that we got it back? That we're having another one that should have happened over this. This should have been a yearly event after the first one. Like, what's wrong with people in this world? I know we're talking wrestling right now, but motherfuckers always want their cake and they want to eat it too, and they got to bitch about something.
Always.
We're getting an all-female fucking pay-per-view. Who the fuck cares what day it's on and why they did it that time? Who the fuck cares? We're getting another one. That's what matters. Just shut up and enjoy.
So first off, I want to talk about how my co-host is a dick. Because you know what he does? He's like, we're going to do this, and I'm going to take Gunther. So he wants me to portray myself as Bill fucking Goldberg.
Your favorite superstar.
Notoriously, I don't know if you guys remember, I am not a fan in any way, shape, or form of Goldberg. He's right up there at Hulk Hogan levels on how much I like him. You know what? I actually like Hulk Hogan more. As much shit as I talk about him.
What's that tell you, folks? What's that tell you?
And that's only because Hulk Hogan is at least entertaining at some times. He was in NWO. He was entertaining in NWO. Goldberg has never been entertaining before in his life. I'm sorry, but
now
if I was a woman, I'd be disappointed every time he gave me only 3 minutes in that ring.
Now here's my one question though. And I'm not talking now. I'm not talking modern times. How much Goldberg did you actually see when Goldberg was in the streak and destroying everybody? How much of that did you actually see at the time?
Well, considering his matches were less than 3 minutes, about 10 minutes worth.
Because from what I remember,
that's probably 20 minutes.
You never watched matches. You never watched a lot of WCW, from what I remember.
I watched them here and there. The only thing I liked about Goldberg is the jackhammer. I like the jackhammer. It's a cool finisher.
The jackhammer is a cool finish. And back in the day, it's changed a little bit now, but I always liked his entrance. Of course, I always understood. Some people didn't like it because they misunderstood the security guards. That was always like the security guards weren't there to protect Goldberg. They were there to protect everybody else. Just saying.
Yeah, none of that matters. I don't like him. I don't like how every time he shows up at WWE, he gets a title shot. Like, he's like the most undeserving person on the planet to get title shots, and he gets a title shot.
I was never a huge fan, but my true hatred happened when they let him fucking destroy the Fiend.
There's Goldberg that was ridiculous.
Not just in 30 seconds or however long the match was. Like, he literally destroyed the momentum, the character, fucking everything. Just destroyed the Fiend. Like, you can't. Yeah, I wasn't happy about that. And that's what all this is about, because then you lost to Roman. You got squashed by Roman, and that upset you. No.
Yeah.
And then Vince never gave you your match. So.
Yeah, no, it just
Goldberg, and he's mad at me. He's upset.
I don't know. He has no personality. He just yells, "Who's next?" He's lame. His fan base is nothing but dumb rednecks. Sorry.
Whoa.
He's just. I cannot stand Goldberg.
You're back down on single digits on listeners there. Good way to
go. Yeah, I know. I'm bitching about dumb rednecks, and we're a wrestling podcast.
Fans. Mistakes. I don't know what happened. The Boomer and Blades page just dropped down to 30.
Yeah, that's generous.
Ow, laughing isn't good. Laughing hurts.
I could not stand him. I mean, he was just lame, and he got. I don't know. I just didn't like. He was a carbon copy of Stone Cold without the personality. It's like, we just want a dumb guy who has a goatee, bald, black trunks, black everything. But let's take away all the fun stuff about Steve Austin that makes Austin entertaining.
Do you know where the idea came from for Goldberg's character, actually, though?
Oh, go ahead.
and some people are going to laugh or think I'm wrong, but look up footage and you'll get it. Mike Tyson was actually the inspiration for Goldberg's character.
Oh, then why doesn't he
The-
talk like this?
The entrance was inspired by Mike Tyson's entrances. The domination in the ring is what Mike Tyson was doing at that time. So I know he wasn't black and he wasn't a boxer, but what I'm saying is the elements that Goldberg came from, they took those from Mike Tyson because at the time Mike Tyson was so popular. So that's how they came up with the entrance. That's how they came up with the idea of having this guy that destroys everybody and then inflating his streak. Like you'd watch Nitro and they'd be like 27-0, and then the next week it'd be like 55-0. Like that's bad math.
Yeah, that was another
It's
thing.
impossible. It's impossible to
talked
wrestle that
about
many
that.
matches. You can't wrestle that many matches in a week. It's impossible. But a lot of people thought he was a Stone Cold ripoff. I never did, but Stone Cold was a million times better. But
Well,
I do
there's a
know
reason I made
and I'm
that
not saying that-
TikTok.
and I'm not saying that they based the whole character Goldberg off Tyson, but I know that they took the entrance and the idea of having this person that just wipes people out and goes on this big long streak. That general idea came from Mike Tyson.
He's just lame.
So, well,
Ugh.
we'll see how lame he
And
is.
he's
this
gotten
weekend, right?
more lame as he goes. You know,
His
the
son,
most
by the
interesting
way,
thing.
His son, by the way, came out and said football is his first choice, but wrestling's there if something happens.
Gilbert's more interesting.
Gilbert. Everybody loved Gilbert.
Gilbert.
All right. Well, listen, I want to start. We're going to do some predictions and stuff. I want to start with Evolution. Let's talk about the ladies because this card is stacked. So we're going to talk about the women first because main event's got like 2.5 matches. I don't know what's going on with that, but anyway, we're going to talk about Evolution 2. I found this is the best poster I found, but what I find it interesting about this poster is Rhea's not on there, and I don't know why. Like, Mommy should be on everything.
Agreed.
I don't know why she's not on there, but anyway.
Some people put mommy on there.
You did, see, that's my point. Like, you're like, fuck yeah, we're putting Mommy on there.
100%.
So we actually have 7 matches announced for Evolution. One is a Battle Royal. And what excites me about that is I think we're going to get some surprises. I think we're going to get some surprises in the Battle Royal.
I hope we do. That would be fun.
One of those that's not really going to be a surprise because it's already leaked is we're getting Nikki, right? Nikki's the one that signed
Yeah,
back.
she seemed
Yeah.
pretty.
She's going to be in it.
She was on this last week. Nikki Bella, I respect what she did. She's just not as interesting. She's up there. So this must be an older graphic because Liv Morgan is injured. Is
Liv
this
Morgan
wrong? Is this the wrong Evolution?
No, but this must have been like somebody's. Yeah, none of these matches are correct. This must have been somebody's predictions.
Well, let's take that off.
None of those.
I was just looking for a match card on the internet.
It looked cool, but yeah, that's not the right match. That must have been like early predictions or something somebody had.
Well, I couldn't find a match card for the.
I found like all the individual ones, but I couldn't find like and I wasn't going to sit there and try to make all. I found ones for like each match, but I couldn't find like one.
Gotcha.
So that's why I just did this general. But yeah, they're doing the Battle Royal. I think it's only going to be 20 people, if I remember correctly. But the winner is getting a women's world title match at Clash at Paris. So
they're facing Clash at Paris, not at
Clash at Paris.
SummerSlam. Got it.
No, we'll get their title shot at Clash at Paris. Remember the SummerSlam title shot? Well, I guess that's the other one. There's so many titles. Jade's facing the WWE Women's Champion at SummerSlam. We can't get our titles mixed up because there's so many of them.
Right.
Speaking of Jade, so the Battle Royal, that's one of our matches. Speaking of Jade, Jade is going to face Naomi in a no holds barred match to continue that story. And by the way, Naomi got a custom briefcase. I don't know if you saw it, but she got a custom Money in the Bank briefcase now. First woman ever, by the way. As a matter of fact, Naomi's now the first and only woman to have a custom championship and a custom Money in the Bank briefcase.
Huh.
Because remember, she had her glow belt back in the day when she was champion. Do you remember the glowing title when she was WWE champion?
I do not.
Yeah, when she was champ a couple years back, they put lights on her world title. So when she came out to her Field of Glow entrance, her belt lit up. So
that's
Naomi's
cool.
the only woman to ever have a custom title and a custom briefcase. Now, and we're supposed to be making predictions, but I can't really predict the Battle Royal because I don't know who the fuck's in it. They haven't announced participants because we're recording on Tuesday, folks. So I believe they're not announcing the participants till SmackDown. So we can't really predict a winner for the Battle Royal because we don't know who's in it. Fair enough?
Yeah, fair enough. We're
Yeah.
recording on Tuesday, so.
Yeah, they have not announced all the participants. The only one I know of so far is Bella. So we can't really pick a winner there. However, we can pick a winner in the Jade and Naomi match.
I'm thinking Jade, since she just won.
I'm
Wait.
thinking Jade just won Queen of the Ring, yeah. And she's going to SummerSlam. But Naomi has Money in the Bank.
Yeah, it could be either.
Yeah.
It seems like they're trying to push Jade, so I'm gonna go with Jade.
Me too, but I think this is going to continue, and I think Naomi may cash in at SummerSlam. Because Jade will be facing the champ, whether it's, we haven't got to that match yet or not, but whether it's Tiffany or Trish, that's who Jade will be facing at SummerSlam for the title.
Right.
So maybe we'll see a cash in. But yeah, I'm going to pick for this match too. I'm also going to pick Jade. It just seems like right now, Naomi might even get disqualified or something. Well, I mean, she can. It's a no holds barred match, so she can't get disqualified.
Oh my! Well, that
But
makes
I'm
it
still
hard.
going to go with Jade. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
still going to go with Jade for now. That's my pick for that one.
All right.
So, all right. So let's go on to the triple threat Intercontinental title match. Becky's now defending against Bayley and the former champ Lyra Valkyrie. Did I say that right? Valkyria. I always get the last name.
Valkyria.
But it is Lyra, right? Lyra is her first name.
Lyra Valkyria. Okay. Yeah.
So that's our Intercontinental match. And even though I don't know a lot about her from everything I've seen, I'm picking Lyra. I think Lyra's going to win it.
They made her look pretty dominant. They also made a comment about how if she taps into this darkness, which seems like they're kind of playing a possible heel situation there, but I'm thinking Becky retains.
And maybe
I'd like Lyra to win, but I think she retains.
Okay. Watch now. Next week when we go to talk, I'm not writing these down, so we have to go back and listen to the audio before. Ow, no laughing. All right, so you got Becky, I got Lyra in that one. All right. Well, next we'll talk about the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match. I'm kind of disappointed because I thought maybe they were going to leave one of these spots opened. And then when the pay-per-view came, we were going to get a surprise team. But that's not what happened. They did fill all the spots in this tag team match. Of course, technically, if we look at it, the champions, they just let the Judgment Day throw somebody else in to be tag champ. They use that Freebird rule. Because, Liv was part of the tag team champs, but she's out. So yeah. Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez are defending against the team of Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, which I think has so much potential. I love tag teams that don't want to be together. We've seen this in the past. Rock and Sock, to name one of them. There's nothing better than tag teams that don't want to be together.
Oh, man, we got to be getting close to Rock and Sock. I can't wait for Rock and Sock.
So I think that team could be fun. The other teams involved are the team of Soluka and Zaria. I have no idea if I said that right, but those are NXT girls. And, of course, the fourth team we now know is the Kabuki Warriors, the reuniting Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane. So
Kairi Sane, say her name right. That's my pirate girl. It's my pirate princess.
So there are your four teams involved in the title match at Judgment Day. At Evolution. This is a tough one, too. I don't expect every title to change at the pay-per-view. But a four-way almost seems like if they're having a four-way, they want to crown new champs. But then on the other hand, right now everyone in Judgment Day has gold. So do they want to take away the tag titles from the Judgment Day, or do they want to keep the Judgment Day all dripping in gold? That's the question. I'm a little, I'm not sure what to pick on this one. This one's a little tough. What are your thoughts?
I'm going with the Kabuki Warriors, and it might be because of my love for Kairi Sane, but
It was they're a good team. I mean, they're a good team.
but they just reformed. I think that would be a hell of an introduction. Um,
Yeah. Uh,
I want to say Charlotte and Alexa Bliss because I do love Alexa Bliss as well, and I do like Charlotte as well. And I
seems, but doesn't that one seem too obvious? Like that's who I want to pick, but don't that seem like the obvious pick? Like the one that everybody would expect to happen.
it's the one that since I don't get to watch SmackDown, it's harder for me to judge the SmackDown participants because I don't see how they're working them on the show and everything. Um, but I did like the introduction of the Kabuki Warriors last night.
Right.
I love that Kairi Sane just did a rebrand to bring back her pirate princess gimmick. So this might be more heart than anything. So
Well, I will
I'm
say
going with Kabuki.
the short version of the other story is Charlotte was complaining about, basically saying how she's the best and she should have title opportunities and blah blah blah. So that was when Adam Pearce was like, okay, well I'll give you one, or Nick Aldis, I'm sorry, I'll give you a tag team title shot at Evolution. You just got to find a partner, and Alexa volunteered herself to be your partner.
Nice.
And, told Charlotte, listen, I don't like you either, but this isn't about liking each other. This is about getting gold.
I wouldn't hate it if they won.
Yeah. And they won the qualifying match, and of course that whole match was the old classic Charlotte acting like she didn't want to be her partner and like ignoring her tags. But at the end, Charlotte almost hugged Alexa, and then went back to like, oh no, I can't hug you. I don't like you. So I'd like to see him win because I think it'd be a comedic, we're a team that don't want to be together kind of thing.
So is that who you're going with?
Yes, I am going to pick, even though I think it's the obvious choice, I am going to pick Alexa and Charlotte.
I wouldn't hate that one. So we're separate on two of these. I'm actually putting these in my notes so we can keep track of how we predicted.
Okay. All right. So that just means that what we have left are all three of the women's championship matches. So the NXT title's on the line, and it'll be JC Jane defending against Jordynne Grace. Jordynne, I believe is how you say her name. I don't watch a lot of NXT, but I do know I do know Jordynne Grace from TNA and from being in the Rumble, I think 2 years ago. And I'm picking her. I'm picking the challenger in that one.
I don't think I can make a proper guess because I don't watch NXT and I don't know these people.
Fair enough.
So you're going with Jordynne Grace, though?
Grace. Yes.
Jordynne Grace.
The
See,
challenger.
I don't know these people.
Yeah, we don't watch NXT, folks. So I'm going to pick it just because I know a little bit about it. So that just leaves our two championship matches and the Women's World Championship match, Io Sky against Mami.
Oh, this one's tough.
It is because I feel like they're trying to push and build Io, but Rhea's. Yeah, I'm picking Rhea. I'm picking Rhea. I got to pick Rhea.
I think Io retains.
She probably will too. That's what I'm saying. Like, I know they're not going to change all these championships, but yeah, I'm still going to stick that I'm going to pick Mami.
I mean, I'm never going to knock someone for picking Mami. Never. But I got to go with the Io just because I feel like
they're pushing her right now, and Rhea doesn't need to be the champion. Some people hate when you say that, but it's true. Some wrestlers don't have to have titles, folks. The Undertaker hardly ever won championships. So Rhea doesn't need the title, and it would be a big notch in Io's belt to beat her. So, I mean, if you're going to push her, it's definitely a good way to do it.
Yeah, I just don't think they're ready to get rid of it from Io. I have a bad feeling that with this being Evolution, not SummerSlam, SummerSlam is looming right now. I don't see them changing a lot of them.
Me neither, and I think I've already picked like 2 title changes, and I just don't know if that's going to happen. Like, because of what you just said, it's so close to SummerSlam now.
I've only chose one, but
yeah, I think I chose 2. But anyway,
I chose the Kabuki Warriors. I think one title will change, and I'm going with the tag team 4-way.
And then, of course, what I assume, I don't know, I don't think they announced it, but what I assume is going to be the main event, the WWE Women's Championship is on the line, is Tiff defends against Trish Stratus. It's Tiff time, baby. If you don't know it, it's Tiff time. And I'm calling it right now. I see Tiff winning this. I mean, she beat Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. So to me, it also feels like they're trying to push Tiff. And with SummerSlam right around the corner, are you going to go with Tiff and Jade, two young people, or are you going to let Trish have a title run?
Yeah, I don't see them.
I don't see Trish winning the belt. I just see this as another match under Tiff's belt because you can say, I beat Charlotte Flair and I beat Trish Stratus. That's
Yeah,
what I see it as.
I agree with you. I don't think either one is going to win.
Yeah, anything can happen, but I see zero reason they put the belt on.
I think that is probably my most confident on who's going to win is Tiffany Stratus or Tiffany Stratus. Tiffy time.
It's my
Tiffy
dream girl.
Yeah.
They're close because her last name's Stratton, so it is close.
So
Yeah,
there's a reason screwed up.
Okay. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, because they're real close. So. But yeah, I don't see that title change, and I just see it as her beating another legend. That story was interesting too because Nick Aldis told her she got to pick who she wanted to defend her title against at Evolution, and she picked Trish. So.
Yeah, I don't see Trish winning that. Obviously, part time. I don't see her being. I don't know how often she's been on SmackDown, so that could maybe influence my decision if I knew.
I know she was just on there this past week when Tiff announced that's who she wanted to defend her title against.
That's it. Yeah,
it's not like she's been hanging out. It was just all of a sudden. Let me tell you who I'd like to defend.
I'd be very shocked if they take the title off of Tiff with Trish Stratus. So that's my most confident answer right there.
Mine too, like 90% sure.
Now, I'm trying to think, out of everybody who's left, we don't know who's all going to be in this battle royal, but we could probably guess, based on the people that are already wrestling, who could be in the battle royal and who could win. Is there anybody you can think of that, based on all the people here, that you think could win the battle royal that would be in it?
That's tough because like the bigger stars already in matches. Like if I just look at that picture, I see Selena Vega, who doesn't have a match on the card, but based on her U.S. title run, they're not letting her win a world title match or a qualification. She's ready for that. The crowd, for whatever reason, is not into her, and Bayley's not in it. Like. I guess I don't know a lot of the younger divas enough. Bianca. If Bianca's in it, I didn't even think about Bianca.
Ooh, yeah.
Bianca's got to be in that battle royal, right?
Yeah. I haven't seen her in a while. Is she on SmackDown? Is that why I'm not seeing her?
As far as I know, she's not. Yeah, she's SmackDown. Yeah, that's why you haven't seen her. So there's my pick. I'm going to go with that. Not knowing who all's in it, I'm going to pick Bianca. Without knowing who all's in it. I don't even think Bianca's in it, but if Bianca's in it, that would be my choice.
I'm going to go with Joe Hendry. Somebody says his name and he was there. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I think Bianca's a good choice. I really can't think of anyone left that would be a good option that's not already in a match.
Right. Yeah. Unless it's a surprise return, but it'd have to be somebody huge that wants to actually wrestle. You know, and the only one I can think of is AJ.
AJ would be cool. Lita?
Yeah, but does she want a full-time run? And I apologize, but my microphone is falling. Oh, crap. This is professional. Sorry.
I think you're right on Bianca. I think Bianca's a very good choice.
Yeah. That's what I'm going to go with. Not even knowing if I assume she's in it. There's no reason she wouldn't be. So.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of someone
on
Raw.
Touch it and just scoot up. There we go.
I'm trying to think of someone on Raw.
I mean, you got the girl. I can never remember her name.
Ooh, Stephanie McCoy.
There's one. And who's the girl? Who's the girl in Chad Gable's group? I can't never remember her name. She's good in the ring.
I don't remember her name, but I know who you're talking about.
She's good in the ring.
I'm going to go with the new one. I'm going to go with Stephanie McCoy.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Good call.
Ooh, another good possible. Let's finally get the Fiend out there. Let's get um shit. What's her name?
Nikki.
Nikki. Nikki
Nikki
Cross.
Cross. Yeah.
She's a good option.
Oh, Nikki, you're so fine. You're so. Oh wait, that's wrong. That's wrong. Not.
I just I just want to see someone part of that group on a pay per view. Like, have we had
Now,
any of them on a pay
well,
per view?
no, but again, you don't watch SmackDown, and it was last week or the week before they actually gave the Wyatt family a tag title shot. But of course, there were shenanigans, so it ended
I did. I heard that
yeah,
they were.
so it ended up being a DQ, but they did get a tag title shot. So there you go. All right, well, that's Evolution. That's on Sunday, so there you go, 7 matches, and I should be able to watch it because I get off work early on Sundays.
Now I have a question.
Yeah.
This is the battle royal, and from my memory, are they doing this proper battle royal style where all 20 women are going to be in the ring at the beginning?
Well, if they don't, then it's not a battle royal. It's a Royal
Okay.
Rumble if they come out individually.
Agreed. I'm just checking.
I assume
Sometimes
it's not a battle royal if they don't all come out at one time.
sometimes they get a little fast and loose with their rules sometimes.
That's true. That's true.
And-
Good call. But I'm going to assume they will all come out at the same time because that's what a battle royal is supposed to be. So.
All right.
Well, now it's time to talk about Saturday night's main event, and we've talked about this off air several times. And as much as you hate Goldberg, I'm gonna miss all the. I got some great graphics and shit out of this this main event match with Goldberg and Gunther. I got some good shit I got to make. This is the latest one, but there's only 3 matches announced for main event.
Really? How long is
Yes.
main event?
I think they're usually 2 hours, but I could be wrong. So if it's only 2 hours, 3 matches would make sense. There was a rumor that they may add Dominic and AJ to it since that didn't happen at Night of Champions, but that's not
Dominic's injured.
a minor injury, they're saying. That's just a rumor. Here's the windows confirmed. There's only 3 matches, so we're just going to go through the 3 that we know are happening, and we'll take our pick. The first match is the returning Drew McIntyre going one-on-one with Randy Orton. Barn burner waiting to happen right there, folks.
Yeah.
Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre, sign me up. And it interests me too because I guess I'm interested in this match because we know that Drew is a heel, and Randy was definitely showing signs of turning when he took on.
See, I thought more.
Of course, you said it was. You thought.
I think
you thought it was
Cody. Cody was looking more like the one that was going to turn, not Randy to me. Randy was showing restraint where Cody, I felt, was being a little bit more aggressive.
Yes, but before that, he used the chair to set up the distracting the ref so that he could take the turnbuckle off the corners. I mean, that's heel. That's heel right there. But he hesitated. You're right. The hesitation was a big babyface move, and he even actually you probably didn't see that either because it was on SmackDown. Orton confronted Cody and was telling him how he hopes he wins the title and all this. But at the end, he said, "Mistake I made. I had you and I hesitated, but you didn't hesitate, and I respect that." So even Orton pointed out that Cody, was a little more heelish. But but I am going to say flat out, I think Drew's my pick. Drew needs to win. Like Drew just came back. I think Drew needs a win. That's my opinion of this match. Like,
I was going to go with Orton, and I mean, I understand your logic, but I'm going to go with Orton on this one.
I mean, Orton is on a roll, but I just feel like I know wins and losses aren't everything, but Drew's been on quite a bit. Like Drew's took a lot of losses lately, and then he was on, and he just came back. So I would just think it would be a good move. But yeah, we'll say it could go either way, and I would not be upset either way. And I think it's going to be a hell of a match. Randy Orton is on top of his game right now. I think he's as good as he's ever been. He's always been a great wrestler anyway. So I think that match is going to be be good. But yeah, I'm going to go with McIntyre. You're going with Orton. All right. So our next one should be a good one as well. It's one of our personal favorites. Yeah,
Yeah.
we got LA Knight taking on Seth freaking Rollins.
Yeah.
The odds are stacked against our boy. I mean, you're going to have Paul Heyman and Braun and Bronson out there. But there's so much story with Rollins right now. He's got so many people after him. Because I think since he doesn't have a match, I would not be shocked if we get a little punk appearance at Saturday night's main event.
I was about to say the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm predicting LA Knight to win, and it's because of a Punk interference. Punk is going to retaliate for Seth freaking Rollins interference. Although he might wait until it's like a title match.
I think that LA Knight's going to win too, and I think we may not just see Punk interference. It may be some Uso action out there. Like it could just be one of those, kind of like we just saw. There might be several people out there because you got three.
Yeah.
You got three. You got to worry about. Yeah, I would not be surprised if Punk shows up because they're obviously building to Punk and Rollins again at some point. So
yeah,
I'm going to.
I also think Seth is going to not. I think Seth is going to fail on his cash in because I think Punk is going to come out and stop him and help the other person win when he tries to cash in.
Does try to cash in.
When he does try to cash in, I think Punk is going to stop it, and that's going to lead to a WrestleMania main event.
Yeah, and it's not impossible because we have seen failed cash-ins for a while. They never happened, but we've seen a few over the years. So,
and I think out of all the people, Seth would be the type of person he doesn't need the cash in.
I know, and we talked about it a little bit. I think when it happened, he really didn't need the money in the bank.
No, but if you're going to give it to him, this would be a hell of a story.
Yeah, for sure.
Like he doesn't cash in because of CM Punk.
Yeah, I think they're going to drag that one out. I think that'll definitely be a SummerSlam match. But who knows? Because I heard a rumor that they were going to go Gunther Punk at SummerSlam. But then again, who's going to be the champ when we get to SummerSlam? Because, of course, the main event of Saturday night's main event, Gunther and Goldberg for the world title.
Gunther. I don't think I need to explain myself here. 100%, 110% Gunther is winning this match.
So let me break this down. I want to go with Gunther, and I'm going to pick Gunther. But here's what worries me, especially because it's so close to SummerSlam, because anything can happen. We've seen him do it before. What worries me is, even though it's been said on commentary, WWE has not advertised officially that this is Goldberg's last match. So that worries me a little. That they may put the belt on Goldberg. The only reason I don't see it happening is because, again, it's so close to SummerSlam, and I would have to Google it, but I would imagine that there's not another PLE before SummerSlam. I could be wrong, but I would think SummerSlam's next.
I believe it's August, so unless there's some weird one, SummerSlam's normally always in August. It's next month.
So I'm doing a little Googling, but with it being so close to SummerSlam, I would think they wouldn't do it. But here again, we're in Atlanta, so we're in Goldberg's hometown. Last week was the anniversary of Goldberg defeating Hulk Hogan for the world title on Nitro in Atlanta. So there's all that crap. But I would think this close to something. Yeah, if you look it up on Wikipedia, which always goes in order, the next pay-per-view after Evolution is SummerSlam. So there's nothing left in between. SummerSlam is next.
Let me ask you. I want to... Okay, go ahead, but you first.
All I was going to say is, but they've done title switches on TV, right? Gunther just won the title back on Raw, so it's not impossible that they could put the belt on Goldberg and take it back off before SummerSlam. Or let Goldberg wrestle at SummerSlam, but please don't. Gunther's way better.
Do you want my question or my prediction for this match? Other than...
I thought your prediction was Gunther.
Oh, it's Gunther, but okay. I have more to say about it.
Oh, we'll go ahead.
So let's start with that. So I think that what's going to happen is Gunther is going to wait to the 3 minutes, have
Back to the
him
tweet.
pin, and then
The tweet.
and have him pin, and then stop the pin to punish Goldberg longer than his 3 minute
There
right
you
reign,
go. There you go. But he said
and
he only had
force
3
the
minutes to
match to
spare.
last longer. I mean,
Go.
if this is unless this is an hour long, special, uh, they're gonna unless the other two matches are like almost an hour long each. They need some time on this 3 minute match.
Right? And of
But
course, they could add another match, possibly.
yeah, well, but I think Gunther is gonna just Gunther seems like the type of character that would just prolong it to be a dick, and I love it.
Yeah.
I would love it. But
That would
here's my
definitely play to his
question:
character. Sure.
we're going through the WCWs as well after all our big pay per views.
Yes.
Do you think I want a prediction from you right now? Do you think my opinion, because you mentioned earlier, it's like how much did you really see of Goldberg? And you're right. I definitely watched him a few times. It's not like I never saw Goldberg, but you're right. I
Right.
didn't watch his 55 to 200, whatever, quick in a week. But do you think that when we start getting to Goldberg on the podcast, do you think there is any chance my opinion will change? Because my opinion has changed on certain wrestlers that I was never a big fan of. I don't think I
No,
was ever really a big fan of Ric Flair. And
Goldberg, the only way your opinion would change on Goldberg is if you were a fan of the gimmick, which was 30-second matches. That's the only way your opinion would change on Goldberg.
which I'm not.
He was all aura, and the best match he ever had was against Diamond Dallas Page at a Halloween Havoc, and it went like 10, 15 minutes, and that was the best match he ever had in his career. Other than that, you've seen Goldberg matches; they were all the same: spear, jackhammer, over. Even when he beat Hogan on Nitro, it was the same fucking thing: spear, jackhammer. Yeah, so no, it's not going to change your opinion.
Even on pay per views, they
But I
didn't
give you
really.
shit. No, he squashed every fucking time, even on pay per views, except for that DDP match. It was always squash, squash, squash. Yeah. So no, your opinion won't change, but I had to give you shit.
I think so. This is my problem with Goldberg. And this might be the fault of the fact that I am a wrestling fan that knows the mystique. I know how it works. I know that it's staged. Whatever. I don't always live in the moment. I appreciate these athletes for what they're doing, but I don't always, believe what's going on. You know what I mean?
Right, right. Oops.
And him just squashing it felt forced to make you want to like this guy by making him squash every single match he's in. It was
Yeah,
like
and
a manufactured, it was just like force fed, where someone like Stone Cold, which I compare a lot because of the way they look and everything like that,
was organic. Stone Cold was organic.
he
Yeah.
felt like he was working the crowd with his mic work, with his antics and everything like that. It wasn't the show trying to tell me like, look how dominant he is, because he's defeating everybody in like 3 minutes, 2 minutes, spear, jackhammer.
Yeah.
Like, that's just boring to me, and that's one of my issues. My biggest issue with Goldberg is more him in the future. Like, I
the
don't
recent,
care to
recent
see
stuff.
him.
Yeah, the recent stuff now is more of and I agree.
Uh,
Goldberg
and
was
I,
over. He
not
got
that
over,
I liked him then either, but
yeah, he got over. But even when he first came to WCW, I was like, okay. But every match, nothing stands out to me except for. Now he had moments that were impressive, like Jackhammer in the fucking Big Show. Yeah, when he was the Giant and shit. But it literally, that whole run was the same. It was the same thing, and it's not even like when people joked about John Cena's 5 moves of doom or Hulk Hogan's. It's even different than that. Like literally,
at least he had 5 moves.
Literally, almost every match was fucking spear jackhammer. Like there was be a third move in there, like a kick or something. But almost every match was just instant squash matches. Yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah, I just found Goldberg boring as a kid, and it's just like I was like, why are you here? Like, we know the mystique, we know the your whatever. I don't remember who finally beat the streak. Wasn't it Kevin
oh,
Nash?
it was, and it was because Scott Hall used a fucking cattle prod. You know what they shot cows with.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know what a cattle
it was.
prod is.
And then the next night after that was the famous finger poke of Doom with Hulk Hogan. So
Oh.
bad shit. But yes, it was Nash who finally ended the streak.
I don't know why I knew that, but I just popped in my head. I thought it was Nash.
Because of the infamous story with the way they did it, probably. You've probably heard it so many times over the years because it was kind of, I mean, a cattle prod. I know it's wrestling, but what the fuck? What the? And of course, people hated it too because Nash was the booker at the time, so a lot of people think Nash just did it because. And I think because it's tied to the finger poke with Doom, which was the next night when Nash laid down so Hogan could get the belt back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think just because all that's tied together, that's probably why you knew that's who it was. So. All right, so there you go. We're both picking Gunther and hoping for the best. I don't want to see Goldberg win. I'm just saying I know anything's possible.
I never want to see Goldberg win. He had his streak. I want to keep that losing streak.
Yeah, and maybe all he wanted because, like I said, Vince promised him a retire match. He never got it. Goldberg picked Gunther to be this match. You know, it's who he wanted to face. So maybe it's just going to be a little bit longer match than Goldberg would usually have, and Gunther's going to make him look good, and he'll go out losing. Maybe that's what will happen. Or we're going to get shenanigans. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
You know, they could keep Goldberg around. We don't want him to stick around, but they could keep Goldberg around without putting the belt on him. If they want to have Goldberg to have a match, then somebody could screw Goldberg in this match, and he could go fucking wrestle somebody at SummerSlam without being the champion. My opinion.
Yeah. No, let's get it over with.
Right. Well, we will this Saturday. Matter of fact, when you folks are listening to this, it's going to be Saturday, but you know.
It will. It will.
Whew, is it hot in here? Is it just
And then
it's the pain. It's fine. But we did do it.
hopefully next week, and we'll be able to record our normal episode where we got the first ever No Mercy in UK.
Right, but of course we know that sticks around. I don't know how many years, but there was definitely several No Mercies.
There was 2 in '99.
Oh, right, you were telling me about that off air because they did the UK and then just
it up. I had a hard time finding the title card because I was like, well, which one's the right one? Because there was 2 in '99. There's one in October, I think, and then the one we're about to watch is I want to say April, maybe. No, that would be WrestleMania. So we've already done WrestleMania. We did Backlash. Man, it's got to be later than that. Then I don't know, but yeah, it's.
And before we plug pluggables, I heard something, and I don't think we discussed this, and I didn't know this was official. And this has nothing to do with, you know, I watched all the pay-per-views over in Saudi Arabia, so it's nothing to do with whether they should go there or not, but I'm really shocked. Did you hear that next year the Royal Rumble's in Saudi? They're doing the Rumble in Saudi. That surprises me a little.
I mean, I just watched.
I have no problem with them getting pay-per-views, but I'm shocked they're going to do one, and not just Saudi, by the way. I'd be surprised if they did any of the big four outside of the U.S. Just the big four, like Rumble, Survivor Series, Mania. I'm shocked to see any of those.
That's kind of crazy.
That's what shocked me. Is
Saudi's throwing out that money.
Yeah, because I've heard rumors too about them talking about doing a Mania, maybe like in London or something. It just shocks me if it's one of their big events, one of their staple fours to be outside the country. That's what surprised me about it, especially like a Mania. Like you could do it, but depending on where you go, how many of your fans from here are going to go see, you know, a WrestleMania? So
it's of course going to be one of those pay-per-views they don't get to see, I guess.
Right. Just interesting. But yeah, next year the Royal Rumble will officially be in Saudi. So.
Although I imagine the people that can afford WrestleMania can probably afford to go to whatever country it's
probably because, yeah, I'd have to sell everything I own to go to WrestleMania. So
I don't think I haven't. I don't think I own enough to be able to do that.
You remember how excited we were when I found out SummerSlam was in Cleveland? Then I look at tickets and I was like, no. I don't. If I had the money, probably still no. Like I don't. It's not just wrestling. All events are just. Good thing I went to them back in the day when I could.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say. Because
Yeah.
I know I paid less than. I know I paid less than $200, probably less than $100 for my ticket when I was at SummerSlam '96, and I was close as could be. I think it was even less than $100 for that ticket back then.
Do we have any? Do we have any pay-per-views you've been at coming up anytime soon, or have you been to
the only pay-per-view I was ever at was that SummerSlam.
SummerSlam?
Everything else I went to, well, that's not true. I went to a TNA pay-per-view, but besides that SummerSlam, everything else was Raws, or SmackDowns, or Nitros, or yeah, that was the only pay-per-view I ever go to. Unfortunately.
Gotcha.
Yeah. All right. Well, we did it. It's gonna be a little shorter than normal, but
once we get that flush money, we'll go to a pay-per-view.
wait,
I'm sorry. Sorry, PLE.
I just wanted to make sure. I refuse to call them PLEs. I wanted to fight through this just so we had something. But yes, next week we will be back on schedule. I should be healed plenty by then. As long as I don't get back in the ring with Mock. Bang, bang. Damn you, Mock Foley.
Try to avoid some drive-by Braun Breaker.
Oh, dude. Maybe the best spear in the business now. You know, Braun's just... Dude.
I like Braun Breaker. I'm liking him more and more.
Oh, yeah. And pretty soon
the more I see him, the more I like him.
Pretty soon we're going to have Big Papa Pump's kid there, too. So he's signed now. He's officially signed. Also, Mark Henry's son is officially signed.
Mark Henry, wow. Okay.
So we're going to start getting some second generation, third generation guys. That'd be good. All right. Let's plug some pluggables.
All right. Well, you can find me on Dragon Blazer Productions on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, the X. The X is Dragon Blazer Pro. The TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
You get the X just has to be different. It's the X.
Yeah, I've gotten to the point where I'm starting to get used to calling it the X and not calling it Twitter.
At least we're calling it the X, but yeah, it's the only pain in the butt. Like if you want to follow the show on the X, it's at Boomer_Blaze. Everywhere else in the world, it's the fucking Boomer and Blaze show like it should be. Okay, not fucking part, but it's the Boomer and Blaze show.
Someone types in fucking Boomer and Blaze show.
I'll get corrected on that next week. You
Lies.
said fucking Boomer and Blaze show. It's not what it is. It's not the fucking Boomer and Blaze show. You can't find it.
I'm gonna like troll and be the commenter. I'll never know. The fucking Boomer and Blaze show didn't work.
Fucking Boomer and Blaze show. All right. Well, there you go. I'm glad we got something out there. Again, I apologize. I'm surprised I said the whole time we didn't have to take a break. I hurt like a motherfucker right now, but we didn't have to take a break. We just powered through it. So,
yep.
Good shit. All right. Well, next week we're gonna get back on track. We will do No Mercy like we were supposed to this week. But until then, this has been the Boomer and Blaze show. I am Boomer.
And I'm Blaze, and we shouldn't have given you No Mercy. I don't know why we did this.
And good night from Dragon Blazer Studios.